Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. We have a much bigger crowd here today than we had last week at spring break, so it's good to see the bleachers filled up here. I'm trying something new here. I'm doing an impromptu speech, and I'm a heavy relier on notes, as you probably noticed. So I'm going to use my notes, but the topic I'm talking on, I think I can be fairly casual about the notes. And this will be somewhat interactive too. So, one thing, the question I have for you is, what makes Toastmasters work? Anyone? Practice. Okay. You come in, it's like learning by doing, right? Anything else?
Safe environment.
Reducing fear, Lisa?
It's like a comfortable environment.
Okay.
Safe.
It's a nice, safe place to practice that. And Jamie, you had something?
I was going to say supportive environment.
Supportive environment. So all these things, these are great things, and the participation and the engagement is what makes it work. And I'm going to add something. The way that I kind of think of what really makes it work is sort of this triangular structure, okay? Where we have, we've got us up here, you, me, and we've got the Toastmaster of the meeting, and then we've got this structure of Toastmasters. Okay, the structure itself, everything's in place. We just kind of have to plug in and do it, right? But all of these things require interaction among these parts, and so these things keep us up. But we have to do our part too. We have to get plugged into everything. So there's an element of integrity in this whole thing that makes it all work, right? If you don't have integrity, these things are weak, it collapses, right? So, so what is integrity? The definition of integrity, if you take it from the dictionary, it's an undivided or unbroken completeness or totality with nothing wanting. Okay? Now, what do you think the relationship is between the size of your commitment? What are the, whether it's the thing you're committed to or the number of commitments and your integrity? As you take on more and bigger commitments, does your integrity go up, or are you more likely to maintain your integrity, or less likely? You're less likely, right? And a lot of us, because of that fact, we tend to play a little smaller than we might otherwise, right? Because you don't want to look bad, you don't want to let people down, you don't want to look like you don't know what you're doing. Speaking for myself, anyway, I can say that. But there's really two main things to get out of our growth around integrity, I think. One of them is that the bigger our commitments are, the better and the stronger our structures need to be to keep us in integrity, to support us. We've got engineers in the building here, right, in the room. What's the most important? If you're trying to build a tall building, what's the most important thing about that? You got to have a strong foundation, right, or the things it's just going to collapse. Well, it works the same way with our integrity, around Toastmasters. We have to have structures to keep us functioning. And what are some of the things like that we have to do to really make Toastmasters work, do you think, to be in integrity as individual Toastmasters? Show up. That's an important thing, and we're really great about showing up, and that's, it doesn't work if people don't show up, right? So, but it's more than showing up. You have roles that you take on, right? And you have to prepare for your role. And how much time do you need to prepare for your role? Well, it depends, right? It depends on what your role is. If you're doing a speech, if you're me, you need some time to prepare. If you're Mark or somebody else, maybe you need 5 minutes and you can come right up and give a speech. But it's different depending on what role we're taking on. But we know how long we need to prepare for a role, and so we have to honor that if we're going to make it all work. Some of the practices I use, we have this tool, right, the website, right, where you can go in, you can confirm your roles, you can go in there. I take where I have roles and I put them in my calendar so they come up to remind me. And I don't always do this, and guess what? When I don't do it, it's like last minute, oh boy, I got a role I got to fulfill, and it's a big scramble, and it might not go well. So the better you can do that, the better off you are. What are some other practices people use to make it all work? Does anybody have anything? Jerry?
Mentoring.
mentoring. And what do you get out of mentoring?
Well, the person that is designated as the mentor has the opportunity to do some active training and supporting to not only the mentee, but to also add to that foundation that supports the club.
Okay. Anyone else have something? Another practice or structure you use personally?
I'd say something like a reminder to the people in the meeting, they have roles, just to say that you're supposed to do this week. Just
Yeah.
a friendly little reminder.
Yeah, if you're the Toastmaster, you're coming up and you've got, sometimes it's a struggle to get our speakers filled and confirmed. You can do something, you can just poke them a little bit, or are you ready? That kind of thing. But personally, the best thing we can do is to prepare ourselves, I think, for that. Now, the reality is that even with all these structures, if you're really playing a big game, which I think we kind of are, we're here for growth and development, right? It's not a comfortable thing for most of us. So you're going to have breakdowns. Things aren't going to work, and that's just part of how it is. So what is there to do when your integrity breaks down? You're not going to fulfill your role that you've been scheduled for. Anybody? Bueller?
Communication. Communication, let people know what you can't.
Exactly. So you get in communication, right? As soon as you know you're not going to be able to fulfill something, then you get in communication with the Toastmaster or whoever you need to. One thing that you can do is, if you're not going to be prepared, you're scheduled for a role that I think is helpful for the club, is you can find a replacement for yourself. Get somebody to fill your role for you. We have that option. We got people that can fill those kind of things. So it's really, it's not about, if you don't think about integrity as a morality issue, as more of a workability issue, I think it works better. It's not, whether it's good or bad, it's what works and what doesn't work. And so by putting in the integrity, it'll really strengthen what we're up to here. Now, this is something that I think is an area where I know I've increased the capacity as I've gotten older. I've done a lot of training, a lot of things, and I find that the more I can put into, the more integrity I can get into my life, the better things work. And it's something I try to teach my daughter, because if you get this young, it works really well, because if you have integrity in your life, opportunities open up for you. People know they can count on you. You might get asked to do more things, right? That's part of what happens, but we can handle that, and we can say no. We have the power to say no, too. But I say we put integrity into this club. If everybody focused on that, I think the results would be unpredictably amazing. So that's what I want to encourage us all to do. Toastmaster.